Hello.
Through each and every student in a class, right? I will go through each and every student in a class asking that, have you taken my pen? Have you taken my pen? So in this case, what is the complexity of the problem? What complexity of problem becomes in this case? Okay. So if you are asking each and every student about, have you taken my pen? In that case, complexity of algorithm becomes big O of n, right? It becomes big O of n, right? Okay, now what is the second possibility that somebody can apply in the class? If there are 100 students in a class, so what I will do? I will divide those 100 students into two halves. So 50 on the left hand side and then 50 on the right hand side. So I will inquire in the left half first. Is there anybody who has taken my pen? Okay, so if I get answer, fine. If I didn't get answer from the left hand side, then I will go to the right hand side and I will ask for those 50 students. I will again ask, have you taken my pen? So now in this case, what happens? Complexity of
Ma'am, the board is not clearly visible.
okay, board is not clearly visible. Okay, nothing I have written on the board yet. Nothing is written on the board yet. Okay, so whatever problems that I am going to take, I will share them in a PPT format. Fine. So I was talking about the pen problem. So if my pen is lost in a class, I can go to each of the student individually and I can ask, have you taken my pen? In that case, complexity of the task becomes what? It becomes big O of n, right? Other way, what I can do, I can subdivide strength of class in two halves. So 50 on the left hand side and then 50 on the right hand side, and then I can ask each student that, have you taken my pen? So here what happens, size of input is now directly reduced by n divided by 2. Why? Because now the class strength is divided into two parts. So in that case, complexity of algorithm will still reduce, right? Or else what I can do is, I can go to the first student and I can ask, have you seen any student who has taken my pen? So what I am doing here, I am asking every student, have you taken my pen? At the same time, I am also inquiring, have you seen someone taken my pen? So even complexity will increase more, and now it will become big O of n square. So are you getting? It is your logic, it is your approach, it's the way how you are solving the problem which will contribute more in calculating time complexity of your algorithm. Okay. Now for understanding purpose, I have taken few examples. I am sharing my screen with you just to see that whether that screen is visible, and then try to solve the examples or try to find out the time complexity of the given problems. Okay. So just let me know whether screen is visible. I'm sharing PPT. Is it visible? PPT is visible?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Now let us try to
Yes, ma'am.
learn what are the factors contributing in calculating time complexity of algorithm. As we already studied, what is first factor that that contributes in calculating time complexity? That is size of input. Okay. And then see, this programming environment, runtime environment, coding skill, compiler, operating system, and which hardware you are using. All these are some independent factors, right? These are some independent factors contributing in calculating time complexity of your algorithm. So as already stated, what is time complexity? Time complexity of algorithm doesn't actually means amount of time required for executing the code. Rather, it is a time required to execute each and every statement which you have written your algorithm. Are you getting? So total time is okay, but that is not the time complexity. What is time complexity in actual? how much amount of time is required to execute each statement in the code is nothing but your time complexity. Okay, so generally what we do, generally we consider that 1 unit time is required for arithmetic and logical operation, and 1 unit time is required for assignment and written statement. I request all the students to take one notebook and one pen so that you will be able to solve the problem. And here are two rules which you need to consider. Okay, what are the rules? Take 1 unit time if the statement given in the program is arithmetic and logical statement. Okay, give another 1 unit of time if the statement used in your code is assignment statement or return statement. Okay, take a pen and notebook and now try to find out complexity of the codes which are there on the screen. Now this is first example for which you need to calculate the complexity. Now what is there in the example? In example, there is one for loop. Okay, what is condition in for loop? In for loop, we have one variable that is I. Okay, so for I equal to 1, when your I terminates when value of I becomes greater than n, isn't it? So until and unless value of I is less than or equal to n, your loop will execute. And then how your I is incrementing in every iteration? In every iteration, I is incrementing by 1. And then there is some statement inside this for loop. There is some statement inside this for loop. Now you want to find out complexity of this particular code. So what are the thumb rules? I told you, if it is assignment operation, arithmetic operation, then you can assign one time unit. Just we have seen there are two rules. Na? See, these are the rules. Arithmetic logical operation, assign 1 unit of time. If it is assignment or return statement, assign 1 unit of time. Now, if you will consider these two rules, can you tell me how much amount of time is required for executing this particular code? How much time is required? Tell me. Now, what is the for loop? For I equal to, yes, it is 1. I is less than or equal to n, and how your I is incrementing? In every iteration, my I is incremented by 1. So here is some statement to execute. Here is some statement to execute. Can you tell me how many times this particular for loop will be executed? How we calculate time complexity is like how many times each of the statement written in the code is executed. Okay. So let us try to find out how many times this particular for loop will be executed. Can you tell me how many times this for loop will be executed?
1 unit time.
N times.
How many times?
N times.
N times. Only n times or n plus 1 times because it is less than or equal to n?
N plus 1.
N plus 1. Okay,
N
I will
plus
give you very simple. Let us try to trace the loop. Okay, consider that value of I equal to 3. Okay, sorry, value of n equal to 3. What is value of n? N is equal to 3. Then how this particular for loop will be executed? Initially, value of I equal to 1. Right? 1 is less than equal to 3. Yes, it will come inside. It will execute this for loop. Right? Next iteration, what will happen? I plus plus. I will be incremented. I will become 2. 2 is less than equal to 3. Yes, your statement will be executed. Right? Then next, what will happen? I will become 3. I will become 3. Whether 3 is less than equal to 3? Yes, 3 is not less, but it is equal to 3. So statement will be executed. Right? Now what will happen? I will be incremented. I will be incremented. So I is incrementing. It means this statement is executed. I will become 4. Now it will check this condition. 4 less than equal to 3. No. So your for loop will stop. But ideally, this particular statement, for statement, how many times it is executed? It is executed for n plus 1 times. Why? Because value of I is incremented. It becomes 4. But then when it checks the condition, 4 is less than equal to 3, it becomes false. And that's why it will not come inside and will execute this particular statement. Are you getting? So, the for loop is executed for n plus 1 number of times, But this particular statement is executed for how many number of times? The statement written inside for loop is executed for how many times?
N times.
N times. How many times? N times. See, you can see here.
N
na?
times.
Because when value of I reaches to 4, that is n plus 1, it will not come inside. Why? Because this particular condition will become false, no? 4 less than equal to 3 will become false and it will not come inside. So the inside statement is executed only for how many times? N times. Getting this? So tell me, what is the complexity of this particular code? What is complexity of this particular code? What we use to represent complexity of algorithm? We use 3 notations: big O, big omega, and big theta, right? So n is what here? N is your upper bound, no? N is your upper bound. So which notation is used to represent upper bound on algorithm?
Big O.
Big O. So what is time complexity of this particular code? It is big O of n. What is time complexity of this code? Big O of n. Are you getting? Are you getting this?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. Now in the same way, if you have some while loop, you can see the second example. You can see the second example here where one while loop is written. So while loop also executes in the same way as that of for, right? So for this kind of code will be, again your complexity will remain big O of n. Big O of n. Okay. Please try to write these sums in your notebook so that when problem is asked in the exam, you will be able to solve them properly. Okay, so is this example clear? Whether it is clear, should I go to the next example?
Yes, ma'am.
Should I go
Yes,
to the
ma'am.
next example? Yes? Okay, now what is
Yes, ma'am.
next? Okay, so see, now in the second slide, what you can see, again there is one for loop wherein I equal to n is greater than 0, I minus minus, and inside for there is some statement. Okay, can you tell me what will be the time complexity of this code? Tell me the time complexity of the code which is there on the screen. What will be the complexity? Whether it will remain big O of n?
Big omega.
Big omega? No. See, all the examples which we are going to study today, we will try to represent them by considering their upper bound. Okay. So for writing complexity of algorithm, you are going to use big O notation only. Because Chaitanya, what we are doing, we have considered I equal to n. So here n represents what? N represents the upper bound on the function, because n is the size of input, no? So it is representing upper bound on the function. So all these examples you will try to represent by considering big O notation only. Okay. So tell me, in terms of big O, what should be the complexity of the given code? Is it big O of n only?
Yeah.
Is it big O of n only or something else or what?
N minus
Array,
1.
even though, see what happened in the previous example, your I started with 0 and was going up to n. Now what we are doing here? I started with n and going up to 0. Isn't it? In that case, your loop was incrementing. Now what is happening here? Loop is decrementing. But ultimately, your statement will be executed for same number of times, no? Inner statement will be executed for n times only. Yes or no?
Yes.
So what will be the complexity of this code? It will remain big O of n, na?
Yep.
Let your for loop will be there in the forward direction or backward direction. Ultimately, what you need to find out, how many times the statement written inside for loop is executing. So how many times it is executing? It is executing for n number of times. So that's why complexity of even this code will remain big O of n. How to write it? Big O of n. How we write that? Big O of n. Okay, time complexity is what? Big O of n. Okay, now if you have understood these two problems, let us proceed to the next problem. Now see, this is one for loop again. Okay, what is there in the for? For I equal to 1, I is less than n, I equal to I plus 2. Can you tell me what will be the time complexity of this particular code? Try to find out time complexity for this code. See, don't look at the code. Try to explore the code. Take a notebook, take a pen and try to trace your for loop and see how many times that particular for loop is executed. So what is there? No, for I equal to 1, I is less than n, and here what you have, how your I is incrementing in each iteration, I is incrementing by 2 and there is some statement inside, isn't it? So now you want to find out how many times this particular for loop will be executed. So if question is asked like this, what you need to find out? You need to take some value for n here, okay? Take some value for n. Now let us assume that value of n is 10. Value of n is 10. So by taking value of n into 10, let us try to trace this for loop. Okay. So initially what will happen? Initially value of I equal to 1. Okay. 1 is less than 1 is less than 1. 1 is less than 1. Is that true or false? Array I equal to 1. 1 is less than n. What is n? 10. 1 is less than 10. Yes, na? So it will come.
Yes.
True.
So when I is equal to 1, your for loop will be executed. Isn't it? Now in the second iteration, what is happening? I is incrementing by 2. So initially I was 1. If I is incremented by 2, value of I will become 3. 3 is less than 10. Yes. So when I is equal to 2, the statement inside for is executed. Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes,
Isn't it?
ma'am. Yes.
Okay, now next time what will happen? Next time what will happen? I is equal to 1 is over, I equal to 2 is over. Now what will happen? Next time, what will be value of I? I will become
3 to 4.
3 or 4.
2 more.
Do you understand meaning of this term? Every time I is incrementing by what? Every time I is incrementing by what?
2.
I plus 2. Okay, so
Plus
if
2.
value of I was 1, in the next iteration, value of I will be what?
3.
3.
3.
Here it will be what? 3. So when 3 is less than 10, yes, so statement will be executed. Okay, now in the next iteration, what will happen? I will become
5
3
in.
plus 2.
5.
5.
5.
Okay.
5.
5 less than 10, yes, it will execute. In the next iteration, it will become 7.
7.
7 less than 10, yes, will execute. In the next iteration, what will happen? 9, na? 7
9.
plus 2, 9.
9, ma'am.
Yes, it will execute, right? Now in the next iteration, what will happen? 9 plus 2, 11. 11 is less than 10. Whether 11 is less than 10?
No.
False.
No, ma'am.
No.
After this, your for loop will stop, na? After this,
Yes,
your for
ma'am.
loop will stop. So how many times your for loop is executed? 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. How
5.
many times are the for loop executed? 5 times. What is the thing? What is the value of n? 10. And how many times your loop
10.
executed? 5. So what is the complexity? Is there any relation between 10
n
and
by
5?
2.
N divided by n by. Yes. So we say that complexity of this code is big O of n divided by 2. What is complexity of this code? Big O of n divided by 2. Are you getting what I'm saying?
Ma'am,
Complexity.
can we say that this example is a type of average case time
Type of?
complexity? Average
Sorry?
time complexity.
Type of the average. I am not getting your question.
Hello.
Yes, speak loudly.
Ma'am, can we say that this is the example of average case time complexity?
Yes, for this you can say. For this example, you can say that. Okay, but again from example to example it will vary. Okay.
मॅम आपण समजा इकडे कोणता ऑड नंबर घेतला तर मग कसं काढता येईल?
Where? Here.
हा.
Here you mean
No
to
ma'am,
say?
we take n as 10 na, if we take any n
You
as
take any value.
any odd number.
You take any value for n, okay, not necessary that 10, okay, and you just try to find out how many times statement written inside for loop is executed. How many times statement written inside for loop is executed. That is the only thing which you need to find out. Okay, even though your n is odd, when you divide n by 2, you are just taking what? Suppose if I have 9 numbers, okay, n equal to 9. So 9 divided by 2, what is that? 9 divided by 2? 4.5. So it's rounded, na? Ultimately we consider it as 5. We round that number to the next integer. So 4.5, ultimately it becomes 5. Getting this?
Yes,
okay, now you consider instead of I equal to I plus 2, if it is I equal to I plus 20, instead of I equal to I plus 2, if it is I equal to I plus 20, what will happen? What will be the complexity? What will be the complexity? Are you getting the change in code?
n by 20.
If instead of I equal to I plus 2, if I wrote I equal to I plus 20, what will be the time complexity of the code? Start your videos and tell me. Start your videos. Everybody, are you there in practical?
Yes.
Start your video and tell me then how you are going to calculate it. How you will find? I have given very simple thing. What is that? You need to trace your
n by 15.
Sorry?
n upon 20.
N
by
upon
15.
N by 20.
N by 20.
N upon 20.
Very correct answer. Very correct. So, what will be the complexity? Complexity will be N by 20. N by 20. How come so? Simply you need to divide the value over here by n, because those many times your loop will be executed, right? So in this case it was n by 2, and in this case your time complexity will become big O of n divided by 20. So I am writing that complexity for you. So for this particular case it will become big O of n divided by 20. So please have a note of this, okay? Big O of n divided by 20. See, you can solve in very similar way, just I have done on the board, okay? In the very similar way, you can find out what is initial value of I and then take some value for n and then continue your loop and see how many times it is executed, okay? Okay, coming to the next code. Now, what is there in the code? What is there in the code? Next, there are two for loops. For I equal to 0, I less than n, I plus plus. And there is one nested for loop. For j equal to 0, j less than n, j plus plus. And then there is some statement inside. Okay. So how you will calculate complexity of this particular code? There is one inner for and there is one outer for, right? So two for loops are there. So tell me, how many times your outer for loop will be executed? how many times your inner for loop will be executed, and then how you will calculate time complexity of algorithm. Tell me. Tell me how many times this outer for loop will be executed.
N times.
N.
See, this is where you are making the mistake. Please look
N
at
minus
the.
1 time.
Sorry.
N plus
N plus 1
N
times.
plus 1.
N plus 1 time. Please
N
remember
plus
this,
1.
because see, if you consider value of n as 5, okay, so what happens? I equal to 0, okay, condition satisfied. I equal to 1, satisfied. 2, 3, 4, satisfied. 4 less than 5, yes, satisfied. But now what happens in the next iteration? In the next iteration, value of I is actually incrementing. It becomes 5. Also it is checking condition. 5 less than 5, no. At that time condition become false. But it ultimately means that your for loop was executed. Value of I was incremented. So it is always n plus 1. Don't forget this. Okay. So outer for, how many times outer for loop will be executed here? It will be executed for n plus 1 times. Okay. What about this inner for? How many times this inner for will be executed?
N times.
Huh?
N plus 1.
N times.
N times.
N times.
Only n
N
times.
times.
Only n.
N plus 1.
Only
N
n
plus
plus
1.
1. Only n plus 1.
2 times. 2 times N
Think
plus 1.
think properly and tell me. Think properly and tell
N
me.
plus 1 into N plus 1.
N plus 1 into n plus 1.
N
How it
plus
is
1.
so? Now see, look at the screen. I have taken it
For
nearer
each
to the inner.
iteration of outer for loop, inner for loop will execute.
Huh? Okay, let us
And
try to elaborate. Let us try to
yes,
elaborate. Okay? So this is my outer for, which is going from 0 to n. Okay? And I have one inner for loop for j equal to 0, j less than n, j plus plus. And here I have some statement to execute. Do you know how these nested for loops are executed? When consider that
yes, ma'am.
value of n equal to 3. Consider value of n equal to 3. Now see, when I equal to 0, what happens? When I is equal to 0, your j will actually go from 0 to 3. Right? So when I is equal to 0, what happens? J equal to 0. 0 less than 3, yes, execute. So what will happen here? J will be incremented. J will become 1. 1 less than 3, yes, executed. J will be incremented, no? J will become 2. 2 is less than 3, yes, executed. Getting? Now what happens? J again it is incremented by 1. So how many times this inner loop is executed? First of all, it is n plus 1. And as it is written inside this for loop, how many times this particular loop executed? How many times? N into n plus 1 times. N into n plus 1 times. Because when it becomes n plus 1, at that time you are not coming inside. It means this should be n only. Inner for loop will execute for how many times? N. And for j it is how many times? N plus 1 times. So when j becomes 3, it will stop here. Again now what will happen? In the next iteration, value of I will become 1. And again for I equal to 1, it will be j equal to 0, j equal to 1 and j equal to 2. Are you getting what I am saying? Again for I equal to 2, j will go from 0, j will be 1 and j will become 2. Now when I becomes 3, 3 less than 3 becomes false. So can you tell me now how many times your inner for loop is executed? How many times?
N into N plus 1 times.
N into n plus 1 time. So remember that if this is the code, then complexity will be big O of, okay, tell me how many times this statement will be executed? N n into what? Inner for loop will be executed for how many times? N into, in the bracket, n plus 1
n
times.
plus 1.
Right? Okay. So this is about two for loops. What about this particular statement? Tell me. How many times this particular statement will be executed? What is true condition for outer for? Until and unless your I reaches to n. है ना? And what is true condition for your j? Until and unless j reaches to n. So this inner statement in the nested for loop will be executed for how many times?
n into n.
N into n times. Are you getting? Is that clear? This inner statement will be executed for how many times? N into n times. So what is the complexity of this particular code? Big O of, yes? Big O of
n square.
big O of n square. So the complexity of code will be big O of n square. Big O of n square. So this is the complexity of the code which is there on the screen. This is a superscript. It is big O of n square, not big O of n2. Okay. Have you understood this example? You understood this example?
Yes.
Are you there? Okay, so if you have understood this, see, given any for loop, trace the for loop. Trace the for loop. How many times this for loop is getting executed? Okay, then only you will be able to find out the correct order of the function execution. Like what is the time complexity of the function, that you can find only if you are tracing the for loop clearly. Okay, now if you understood up to this, now next example I keep as a homework for you, not homework, here only you will write it. Okay, so let us write next code. Write this code in your notebook, everybody. Write this code in your notebook. Take first for loop for I equal to 0, I less than n, and then I plus plus. Inside we have one more for loop for j equal to 0, j less than n, and then j plus plus. Okay. And inside this for loop, you have some statement. Okay. Inside this for loop, you have one statement. So tell me now, how many times this statement will be executed? What is time complexity of this particular code? Tell me. What is time complexity? Yes?
N square.
N square. The same example I have taken. Oh, I'm sorry. So this j should be less than I. Okay, j should be less than I. I have changed one thing. Okay, I have changed one thing. Now j is not less than n, but j is less than I. J is now less than I. Tell me, what is the time complexity of the code?
O of n.
Don't be in hurry. Don't be in hurry. Tell me what is time complexity of the code. How you will find? Can you trace the for loop? Can you find out, like, when I equal to 0, then how many times inner for loop will be executed? When I equal to 1, how many times this inner for loop will be executed? So like this, you just repeat the loop and see how many times that for loop is executed. Now see, j is not less than n here. J is less than I. So complexity of this code will not remain big O of n square. Okay, it will be something else.
n plus 1.
N plus 1? No. See, I am again suggesting you to trace the code, trace the for loop. Then only you will be able to find it correct answer for this. See, this is how I have traced
n
the
into
code.
n minus
Now, this is how I have traced my code.
n into n minus.
Yes. Start your video. Let me see that all are working on the problem. Start your videos, everyone. Only Vishal is there. Where are others? Vishal Londe is there. Mansi is there now. Start your video, Mansi. Tell me how many times your loop will execute. See, make a table. Make a table with 3 columns. Okay. Take I, take J. Okay, take I, take J, and third column for the statement. Third column for the statement. Now what we need to write here? What we need to write? Initially, what is value of I? Initially, what is value of I?
0.
0. Okay. And let us consider what value we should consider for n. Say n equal to 5. N is equal to 5. So 0 less than 5. Yes, it will come inside, na? It will come inside to the J loop, na? So for J equal to, so when I equal to 0, J will also become 0. Yes or no?
Yes. Yes.
When I is 0, J will also become 0. Now what is condition? J less than I. So 0 less than 0. Condition is true? No. So this condition is false. So whether your statement will be executed here? No.
No.
How many times
No.
your statement will be executed? 0 times. 0 times, right? Okay. Now in the next iteration, what will happen? Value of I will be incremented, na?
I equal to 1.
I will be equal to 1 now, right? Now what about J? J will be again initialized to 0, na?
Yes.
J will be again initialized to 0. So 0 less than 1.
Yes.
Yes. So 0 less than 1 for 0 condition is true and the statement inside will be executed once. It will be executed once, na?
Yes, ma'am.
Now what will happen? J will be incremented, na? J will become 1. J will become 1. 1 less than 1.
No.
1 less than 1. False. So when J becomes 1, your loop is not executed. Isn't it? Now next iteration, what will happen? Next iteration, what about I? I will become 2. I will become 2. So when I is 2, how many times your J loop will be executed? 0 less than 2, yes, will be executed. J will be incremented by 1. J will become 1. 1 less than 2, yes, will be executed. J will become 2. 2 less than 2 will become false. So for 2, your statement will not be executed. So when I equal to 2, how many times your loop executed? How many times loop executed?
2
Twice?
times.
Twice, right? 2 times? Okay. Now what next? I will become 3. Isn't it? I will become 3. So when I is 3, J will go from 0, 1 and 2. So for 0, statement will be executed. For 1 will be executed. For 2 will be executed. But for 3, it will not be executed. So for how many times? For
3
how
times.
many times? When I equal to 3, your statement will be actually executed for 3 number of times. Thrice it will be executed. Right? So now can you derive any relation from this? Any
2n.
relation between I and number of times
2n.
statement executed?
2n.
Ma'am, 2 into n.
2 into
2
n?
into n.
How it is so? Okay, if you are saying like 3 plus 2 plus 5 is 6 and then 2 into n. No, it should not be like that. We can go further, na? When n equal to 4, n equal to 5. Likewise, You can go on putting the further values. Sorry?
n into n.
No. Okay, I will give you
मॅम
one.
नाही होते
Yes?
प्रत्येक याला चेंज होत आहे नंबर.
That's why I am saying na. That's why I am saying that you need to derive some appropriate relation. Okay. So see, you just focus on this third column now. How many times your loop has executed? Okay. So how many times it has executed? Let us try to write. So I am erasing this particular part so that you will be able to see how many times. 1 plus 2 plus 3, right? Up to what?
N plus
1
1.
plus 2 plus 3. Up to what? It will go
N
up to
plus
what?
1.
What is the upper bound? N, na? What is upper bound? N. So it will go up to N. So 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus up to N. Right? So if you remember in mathematics, if this is the case, then what is the relation? N
into
plus
n
1.
plus 1 upon 2.
You remember this series? How we calculate it?
Yes.
N into n plus 1 divided by 2. So if you solve this further, what you get? N square plus n divided by n square plus 1 divided by 2. Isn't it? Yes or no?
Yes.
Hai na? So herein, as these are two constant values, you can say that complexity of the code is big of n square. Complexity of the code is what? Big of n square, because these are the constant values. Okay, these are the constant values. You can say that complexity of the code is now what? Big O of n square. Getting this?
Yes, ma'am.
So
Yes, ma'am.
by looking at the code, you should not comment just like that. You are supposed to trace your for loop step by step. Okay, and then only you will try to find out what is the complexity of the code. Okay, now I am giving you one more example for practice. You tell me what should be the time complexity of the code. Okay, so write down the next example in your notebook. Next example is p equal to 0, and then inside I have for I equal to 1, then p is less than equal to n, and here I have p plus plus. So if this is so, then tell me what should be the complexity of the code? P equal to p plus I. Two for loops nested in each other. This is simple for loop. Tell me what should be the complexity of this code. If you can find this, then I can conclude that you have now understood how to calculate time complexity. This is small p everywhere. So p is less than equal to n, p plus, sorry, here it should be what? Not p plus plus, but it should be what? I. So tell me, what will be the time complexity of this particular code? What should be the complexity of the code? This is the last example, then we will stop, okay? And then we will solve your doubts. So what should be the time complexity of the code?
Big O of n square.
See, not all the codes can have big O of n square. Please think wisely and tell me what should be the complexity. Again, I am suggesting you to prepare one table showing value of I and P. Okay, showing value of I and P. So just to see how your P changes when value of I is incremented every time. So that you need to see, and then you need to comment on the complexity actually. See, when I is equal to 1, what about P? When I equal to 1, what is P? 1. When I equal to 2,
1.
what is P?
3.
Okay. So what is the relation between I and P?
increment
Any
by
relationship? Huh?
I plus 1.
I plus 1. Okay. So we can say that, see, when this for loop will terminate, when this particular for loop will terminate, we need to assume whenever value of p becomes greater than n, whenever value of p becomes greater than n, your for loop will terminate, isn't it? What you have written? P is less than equal to I, then your for loop continues. You know? When P is less than equal to N, your for loop continues. But when value of P becomes greater than N, your for loop stops. Okay? So you need to say that I is going from 1 to K. So what is the relation? See, what you are getting in the P statement, it is what? 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus likewise up to K. Likewise up to K. Isn't it? Are you getting this? So what we can say that P is equal to K into K plus 1 divided by K into K plus 1 divided by 2. Right? So P is greater than N. Right? P is what? Greater than N. So can I say that if I expand this particular loop further, it is what? K square plus 1, K square plus 1 divided by 2 is greater than N. So what does it mean? K square is greater than N. What does it mean? K is equal to square root of N. K is equal to what? Square root of N. Roughly we can say that, no? K is equal to square root of N. That is, K is greater than square root of N. So what we can say here is complexity of this code is big O of square root of N. It's not N square. It's square root of N. Okay? Big O of square root of N. See, complexities, they are represented in the mathematical terms. So your mathematics should be strong enough to find out the relationship between how the loop counter is changing and then how many times the statement written inside particular for loop is executed. Understood this? Have you noted all the examples? Have you noted all the examples? Yes?
Yes.
I expect all of you to practice these sums. Okay? Everybody practice these sums so that you will be able to understand like how the complexity of algorithm is to be calculated. Okay? Just to summarize how we calculate the complexity of algorithm then, just to summarize, what is the basic thing? Calculate how many times the statement written inside for loop is executed. Okay, so this is how we go on calculating time complexity of any algorithm. Okay, do you have any doubts with this? Recording, can you stop? Sampada, can you stop the recording?